Hey, good morning, everyone. Been a while since we've done these. Figured we'd go ahead and get started back with them. It probably still going to be a little bit sporadic, just have a bunch of stuff going on. So we'll get through these and play them out as time permits. Going through them, but thought we'd get back into it here today. Just going to go ahead and send out all of this stuff here real quick. Sweet. Let me get this little video here. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Just had to get a couple things set up as always. Remember, we're not financial analysts, advisors. Nothing we say or do should be taken as any kind of buy or sell recommendation. You can see our full list of disclosures on our Substack page, which you can find linked in our YouTube page as well as in our Twitter page. So with that, we'll just go ahead and jump right into things here. It is about 6:30 on Thursday morning. And we'll just jump right into stuff here. We'll begin with SPY and then go to the Qs and some of the other ones here. So pretty clean levels with SPY, really. It was really cool last night looking at stuff. If you look back in April, we started some work on this combo volume profile stuff, and damn near to the tick yesterday where SPY stopped. So really interesting. That sets up a nice zone here for today with that combo high volume node, trend guide reversal, supply and demand. Right below there, within yesterday's range, is that weekly trend guide reversal right in that same spot. And just going to pull up the piece here real quick. So, and let's just see, quick glance. Lots of things are up into their TGR zones and stuff already for the day. SPY is already up there at 437.70. So nice little gap there on SPY. So it's already up into that zone there. Just go ahead and zoom in for a second. So pretty clean ones there. If it clears that, really, it's got this week's. Sorry, this was last week's IV stat high. So you've got that there, but really it's just kind of open space up until you get to this end of week cheats, low volume node. Gap fill, and then there's the daily cheat there, but bigger stuff below. So you got your trend guide, swing anchor VWAP from the 26th, the high volume node, and then you start getting into some other nice pieces down here. The big one that we've been trying to watch for and see if we get, and we've just been avoiding, is the 20-day EMA, daily anchor VWAP, weekly trend guide. This week it's also got Tuesday's lows, and then if I zoom back out, it's got June 9th's highs in there as well. So pretty nice zone there on SPY. Moving over to Qs. So Qs are up at 366, let's call it already. It's not as big of a gap on it, but it is up into this first kind of block here, which is what combo high volume nodes, supply and demand, and then some structure. It's there. I'm not really interested in it. I mean, you can see there's a little bit of stuff through here. Definitely was some stuff back in there, but really be more interested in something up here, which is inside of yesterday's zone. So I made a small change to mark things if the zone is included within yesterday's price. It just gets marked as orange, and so that's why those are orange. The exception be is if it's ADRs. So if ADRs and futures have moved up, then it'll get marked as kind of normal blue. So anywho, got that little nice one there. So pretty nice block in it. Gap fill, yesterday's high, supply and demand. Does put us back into that symmetrical extreme. So we're pushing us back up into the 7% area there on that one. So you get that, and then some basic things above. And again, kind of the big piece we had been watching to see if we get, and it looks like we might just skip and ignore, just like on SPY, is that 20-day down there. So, no, not doing that right now, bud. In any event, moving over to ES, so some pretty nice ones here as well. It was really nice clean stop yesterday on ES. Into the close, we kind of went and had that big push into WTGR1. It's been that way for 13 weeks. WR1 has been the weekly trend guide reversal. So pretty cool to see on that. At this point, it should be pretty obvious, but we're going to flip our quarterly trend guides unless something catastrophic happens the next day. So that's kind of the next kind of zones upside. There is this monthly trend guide reversal 3 here, which debated about including candidly, but just seeing kind of where stuff sat with the IB stat high here the week before with supply and demand. I didn't want to completely skip it and ignore it. And so in any event, you've got this is kind of the first bigger block to me. So we're already up and through this zone here. We're trading into it right now. You can see it's been some structure here. In any event, so you got this bigger one up here that I've marked in weekly photo, quarterly trend guide 2. Photo ADR is just right beneath it, but I'd really be more interested in the bigger block above, including that gap fill up there. Above, you get your weekly trend guide reversal 2. Definitely have some stuff back through here, and VPOC, supply and demand high. And just some pretty, I don't know, like to me, ES seems pretty clear on where you've got stuff. I mean, this is a nice opportunity, but I want to see it kind of prove itself and start to turn before we try a short here. I mean, it's definitely up here. It's extended, but I think the pain move is still higher. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. So big one to call out, note on the downside is this 20-day EMA just keeps moving. So it is all the way up now into this 4370 with weekly trend guide. It is now the weekly IB stat low. Probably end up coming up and joining. My guess here later today is probably come up and join this gap fill from Monday, I guess that would be. So 20 days really moving. This, no way I think this will happen, but I mean, this is a pretty clear ABCD possible setup there that shoots way the heck up higher. Goes from that rollover gap around 4350, give or take, and extends up to like 4550, 4600 something. So would really push this symmetrical extreme on the upside for both the 20 and 50 day for sure. In any event, I'll flip over and move through NQ. I don't want to spend a ton of time on these, just kind of highlight some other pieces. On NQ, so I noted there's this photo ADR one there right at supply and demand. I don't really care about it as much. I think if we go through and take out that weekly trend guide reversal zone, daily trend guide reversal, combo high volume node, there's NVPOC, gap fill. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in that little block there. We take that out. This is interesting. You get last week's IB stat high, supply and demand, that volume node. But I think it'd be more interested to see us come up and tag the full ADRs, the tier 2 daily cheat, the end of week cheat. There's a gap fill right there, the high volume node. So I think it'd be less interested in this. Certainly watch Apple and Amazon, all the rest of tech and XLK, see what it's doing, comp, NiFang, etc. So downside, so you've got this nice little bounce here on the overnight off of the swing A VWAP, trend strength reference point, weekly pivot, NVPOC. I mean, that's kind of a nice damn near to the tick. Looks like bounce and go there. Lower, right, you get our swing anchored VWAP there, trend guide, the combo point of control, which seems crazy, but again, the combo point of control stuff, if you look back, is kind of aggregating and normalizing volume profiles over various time periods, going back to the 3-year volume profile, grabbing even yesterday's, and then some rolling 10, 20, etc. type of volume profiles. So, let's see if there's anything else here. The rest of it, I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. I mean, these levels are really clean here today on NQ and ES in my mind. Certainly the one we've been watching that, again, we just may not get is that 20-day, and it's actually come up now and it's joining kind of the structure we've been watching this back to, I think it was like August or something of last year. Moving over to RTY, won't spend a ton of time here. Pretty clean basic levels. Did note a couple things. Combined this div and zone into one block. Choosing to ignore the weekly pivot. There's stuff there. You can see we definitely had some interactions. Blew through, came back, tested, and went, but it ends up just being isolated outside of that structure, given that the daily anchored VWAP's already, if it hasn't already, it's going to have moved up. I'm pretty sure it's already moved up into this bigger block here with trend guide 20-day photo ADR. So just choosing to ignore this block here, and then kind of combined. I don't know why I marked that as combined, because the 50-day EMA is clearly way the heck down here. But in any event, you got your 50-day full ADRs, tier 2 daily cheat combo, and then the 50-day is actually down lower, so I don't know why I marked that as being combined. Oh, because there was a div there for something else, but yeah, whatever. I wasn't paying attention, it looks like. I'm going to move over to YM. Where is YM at the moment? YM is already pushed through its trend guide reversal and is looks like it's wanting to test that swing anchored VWAP from June 16th. So there's a small div here. Not terribly interested in trying something there. You can definitely see, like, we've had some interactions with this kind of combo volume node here. Zoom in, maybe I can see if that, which one that is. Combo high volume node 1, so it's had the most volume out of all the ones that we're picking out and distinguishing. And see, there's definitely been a lot of interactions kind of against that area here in the recent past, and then again goes out over multiple time periods. So there's something to keep an eye on there. Blow through that. You do have the day cheat, but as I've said before, YM doesn't really pay as much attention to these on that front. So they're there. They are something to keep an eye on and check and see where the rest of the stuff is, you know, especially where DIA is trading at, and see how it's respecting its levels at that point. So anywho, pretty clean. Again, we take this block here out, then you know, kind of expect to see this stuff up here with weekly trend guide, full ADRs, NVPOC, kind of that one, and then this would just be an absolute crazy one. But that would be, you know, blowing through kind of a big move. So just hit up CL and GC, then I would go out and go walk around for a bit. So CL, you know, was thinking we were going to kind of execute and follow through on one of these ABCDs, but man, if we look here on the daily, like, it's just, you know, it had that big kind of sell back here in March, retested again with the slightly lower low in May, and then we've just been testing since then, you know, really holding, for practical purposes, really been holding that trend line. So it is up now today, going and trading against that 20 days, so really gonna have to see what it does on that one. And it's pushing up into that block now, into this daily trend guide zone here. So to me, that's really a big one. You've got your trend guide 20-day, so it sets up for the look with the weekly anchored VWAP right there. Got an auto supply demand, price swing low, and so far it's this week's highs. So really kind of a big one there. Did want to call out, we added this little div here with all this structure. You can see, just looking left, right, like all the times it's interacted kind of with this 7084. So added that, and then that combo high volume node right there. Above that, if we look higher, we want to keep going, then you do get into the full ADRs, tier 2 daily cheat, and the 50-day right there. The daily anchored VWAP is higher. It will obviously come down and fall into that there a little bit, but it's probably going to be up closer, because you can see where a swing anchored VWAP is here from April 12th. So may even go through and take this out and go div and collect that weekly photo, swing anchored VWAP. I mean, Got the gap fill there, and then potentially come back, pull back, and close beneath that 50. So really got to keep an eye on this upside, but it does look like it wants to go there. You just have to see first what it does against this 20. Came up already here a little bit ago and try to push into that block, and then it's pulled back just a little bit right now. It's 69.75. Downside below, so covered all that. Again, this is that block we keep touching on from the daily, so really big block there, and this is probably hard to see there. Yeah, because that's actually the same spot. So daily trend guide reversal, it's been that way for 5 days in a row now, combined with the low volume node, last week's lows, yesterday's lows. Yesterday's lows were a little bit lower. Structure, in any event, that's the monthly anchored VWAP from April's 2020 lows. So really big block there. Take that out, you've got kind of this one here lower. There's definitely a bunch of other stuff there, but like in my mind, we've already traded a pretty good chunk. Trade down to there, then now you're watching for kind of where that knife's gonna fall, and trying to pick it out. I mean, maybe this is where it does come out and end up completing that shorter time frame ABCD. I don't know. We'll just have to watch and see. Pay attention to USO, XLE for some clues. And then the last up I'll just hit on real quick is GC. So I hadn't used the Find VWAPs one in a while, the indicator we've built. So the Find VWAP goes out and it just tries to find all the VWAPs, daily, weekly, monthly, etc. And it found one that I did not have on my daily chart, which was the June 9th daily anchor VWAP. Puts it right here, setting up for the look at this big block here at 1949, 20-day EMA, horizontal ray, which had marked some structure in the past, you can see there, as well as a self-drawn supply and demand low at that spot. So really nice. Just decided, and let me just go ahead and put that back on as I think about the next round of enhancements to that indicator, and actually plotting those on whatever time frame chart you have. So in any event, you've got that down a little bit lower. You get your weekly pivot, you get a swing anchor VWAP, quarterly pivot. I mean, this is kind of a nice little block right there. In that one, you can see kind of how we combined all that, and then we threw in and moved it up just a bunch to grab that weekly pivot. There is the full ADR right between those two, but it kind of, at this point, it feels like if we're going up here, we decide to take out this little div right here, which is really not that big of a thing to us. I mean, it does have the Tier 1 daily cheat there. You got some structure at that spot. You certainly had last week's IV stat low. It just doesn't do it for us. You really want to wait and watch it come up and tag that zone up above. So that's why I've kind of chosen to ignore the full ADRs, even though it's right there. The photo, on the other hand, is sitting right in with the bigger block. So I've got my combo point of control, swing anchor VWAP from the 26th, double gap fill in there from yesterday and then from the day before, along with trend guide. So all right in this kind of bigger block here. But first we gotta leave this trend strength reference point zone along with the monthly trend guide. So you've got that there. I'm choosing to ignore this block between the two. It's just, there's not really a whole lot of stuff there. I know why I picked it up. You can see that there's a swing anchor VWAP it picked up from overnight, and the Tier 1 sheet is right there. Don't care about that. Would care about this block lower there at the trend guide reversal, weekly trend guide reversal blocks. And then the bigger piece below is the one that I've talked about a little bit here in the prep charts I've been sharing, is the daily anchor VWAP from November 3rd. And it turns out we also have the monthly anchor VWAP. It's right about that same spot, give or take. And that lines up with photo ADRs for the day, as well as the Tier 1 end of week cheat stuff. So what could be interesting is this may be a trend strength reference point type of play here today, where we don't get any higher than this. and then we just kind of fade back down and attack some of these lower zones and divs here, which really these are just a bunch of divs, on its way to collect that bigger block down lower is kind of the way that it looks. So we'll just have to see. We are definitely into the buy-side symmetrical extreme. So you remember, I think it was probably mid-June or so, I talked about, actually it's probably even back in here, late May, were you really even going to get the 50-day symmetrical extreme? It looked like we were just going to kind of bounce, reset on the 20, div into it a little bit, and then kind of ignore. But we're starting to get into some nicer spots there on the 50-day buy-side symmetrical extreme. And the other thing, if you notice on the prep here, is did actually go ahead and add back in the buy-side symmetrical extreme kind of tiers. So that's the other nice thing is we do come down into here. Now we're getting into the tier 2 blocks for both the 20-day and 50-day. So this would be a nice spot for us to come to here. Don't want to just buy it blindly. Want to kind of see some kind of nice price action off of either this block or the block lower, and see how it plays out. So yeah, I think that is it. I don't have anything else that I've got to cover off, I think, here for today. So hope you all are doing well. We'll be planning to try to get back to these and some of the other Substack content here. It's been a while. It also candidly got kind of tough thinking of new stuff to discuss each night. So folks have ideas or content or questions, certainly would love to go through some of those. Don't really want to do the prep live stuff anymore because there's lots of back and forth. Candidly got to get up and got to do some other things here when we're looking through this stuff, and definitely don't want to do a live stream of coding because I'm not going to share the code on screen. Sorry, that's just not going to happen. But yeah, anywho, hope everyone's doing great, and we will catch y'all later. Thanks.